Rule number 1, set a fat loss goal. If you're serious about dropping body fat, it's really helpful to have an understanding of where you're starting and where you'd like to go. So in other words, you'll need to set some fat loss goals. And if you're going to set a goal, you might as well make it SMART. You've probably heard of the acronym SMART in relative to goals, right? I'll break that down for you though right now in terms of fat loss so we have a very clear picture where we're going. S, specific. Be very specific here. Don't be vague. Either have an exact number of pounds that you'd like to lose, a target body fat percentage, or a target weight. M, let's go ahead and make this measurable, right? So this is pretty straightforward when we talk about dropping weight. You get on the scale, you weigh yourself at the start, all the way through, and then you weigh yourself at the end. You'll know when you get there because it's very clearly measurable. A is for achievable. So if you're like my height, my size, about 200 pounds, and you'd like to get down to 65 pounds, that's not really achievable. But if you'd like to drop like 15 and get down to 185, totally doable. R stands for realistic. So this is where other factors come into play, right? So you might be looking to drop just 15 pounds, but if it's a whole lot of new skills and food prep and stuff that you need to figure out, and it's kind of stressful for you to put those new skills together, meanwhile, you've got 3 little kids at home, a job that requires you travel to do sales and stuff every weekend and be entertaining and drinking and eating out all the time, and then you find out that your partner has a medical issue and they really need you to help them out with that and care for them, then it might not be a realistic time for you to really work on that goal. I would even ask you why you feel that's such a pressing thing to work on when you've got so much else. But that's on the different conversation. T stands for time. So as a general rule, when we do our one-on-one coaching, we pretty much allow for like 1 pound a week lost or gained over the course of time to get to your goal, and then about 1/3 of that overall time. So let's say it's 20 pounds. That could be 20 weeks, which gives us a lot of leeway for life throwing your curveballs, although people do it a lot faster. But then we basically say 20 weeks to get the 20 pounds off, and then about 1/3 of that, another 7 weeks, to make sure that you've habituated all the different things you had to do in order to create that weight loss and make sure that it's going to stick with you forever. And again, people do this way faster all the time. But with this type of math, it's exceptionally doable. So much to the point that we actually guarantee our results if people do the coaching with us under that regard. And if people don't hit their target in that amount of time, we actually continue to coach them for free until they do. So there you go with your SMART goals. Now that you know where you're starting and where you want to go because you've set some SMART goals, what you need is a system to help get you there. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this next video in 25 Rules of Fat Loss.